I was born in a little town called Demopolis, Alabama, which is about 20 miles north of Selma. Alabama was a segregated South. I did not encounter any white children. I didn't see them except on television. And I read about them in books because our books all had white kids, see Dick, Jane. We left and moved north to the big city of Huntsville, Alabama. We moved into a white neighborhood. Going to school with white children, they were as clueless about me as I was about them. I remember one day some little boy stopping us on our way home, and there were a bunch of girls and boys who were walking in the same direction. Then we'd split off into our different streets, and he yelled out, "Hey, nigger." And we all stopped, and I remember everybody not looking at me but looking at him, and it was sort of like, where did that come from? And what struck me then and now is that we just turned back to our conversation, kept talking, and walked on. My parents had a very profound impact on my spiritual life. My mother taught in school. She taught in black schools. My father worked for a NASA subcontractor. He was working in the supply division. He had finished law school in Ohio at Western Reserve, and he moved back home and, of course, was not able to practice law there. Civil rights is very personal for my family. He was Uncle Ralph. He wasn't Reverend Dr. Ralph David Abernathy, best friend of Martin Luther King. I remember waking up one night, stomachache or whatever, and tumbling down the stairs and interrupting my uncle and Dr. King, and Dr. King picking me up and putting me on his knee. And just pretty much, I probably fell asleep there, come to think of it, because I don't remember getting up and going anywhere after that. But his calmness. Uncle Ralph was a pastor who loved to talk to people. He taught me how important it is to remember who is supporting you. They're the people who have nothing to give, but who look to you to make the inroads where they can't go. Today, I am working for a multinational company. I decided to go into corporate law, into the corporate side, business side of things. Part of what Dr. King wanted and others was to get us to a place where we were wholly a part of society, where we were not on the sidelines. What they had envisioned was an opportunity for me to give back in a way that made a difference economically. This is marvelous. For me to empower people, to be able to hire people, to give them satisfaction in the course of building their own lives. Okay, let's start with a word of prayer. My faith is fully a part of who I am. And so in a corporate environment or in any environment, I'm not looking at levels of people or categorizing people as more important or worthy than others. I'm acknowledging everyone as being important and critical to the process. Knowing that I am watched by God. I think the best lesson, and I'd like to highlight the fact that I'm still in class, the best lesson I could take from my spiritual journey in terms of the work that we do, particularly work in a corporation, it's that be who God calls you to be and be where you are. You don't get up and leave because it's tough. It's always tough somewhere. The faith that God calls us to have, He supplies, He undergirds. You don't have to have all of the answers. You don't have to be perfect every day. You have to just get up and keep your heart open and try. That's, I think, the call on a person in a business.